I got you through some stuff, how to secure your cloud environment. So let's start a little bit. Yeah, some ideas of my background. So I'm an infrastructure guy. Over the years, I became more and more closer to the cloud. And yeah, since a while, I'm in the cloud security team at Palo Alto Networks. And I'm happy to tell you a little bit more about how to secure stuff. As I learned, many developers are here today. And when we are talking about security, it's always, he is asking for security. Let's figure out how I get this fear away and bring more interest for you to this. Yeah. So as we start, we talk a little bit first about what are the risks, what are the threats, what to think about. And over the last few years, we saw a lot of stuff coming up. So you are seeing a lot of breaches happening to public cloud environments. You're seeing a lot of data which is in hands of the darknet, wherever. And let's have a look for the trend, for what you are seeing at most, there where you should have a focus on. Yeah? So Palo Alto Networks itself is investigating with its ethical hacker group, Unit 42, a lot of this stuff. And as you can see, the banner on top is a current, I think, 2-month-old report where we are scanning container environments in the public internet. And you can see the banner is saying misconfigured container services. And I want to drill down this little bit with you to give you an understanding of what we are doing. So, cloud security threats, yeah, already mentioned. One of them, it's misconfiguration, starting on the left top. Unauthorized services is another one. When you're not keeping an eye while configuring stuff, it can happen that you are exposing stuff you won't have there. Same thing for APIs, which are too open, too unsecure, not protected against anything. This is another threat we are seeing very often. Hijacking of accounts, when you're not using multi-factor authentication or you are having a weak IAM design, things like that. It's stuff which happens very often. Nevertheless, the monitoring and patching stuff for vulnerabilities and OS upgrades. Yeah? You see every time stuff is coming up, misused by some bad people to get to your data, to your environment, to get your data or to crash your service. Yeah? The threat landscape is different. They want to steal your data, or you're disturbing your stuff, damage your reputation, all this kind of stuff. That's the idea behind this. Misconfiguration, we had this already. Wrong setup is another point which is aligned to this. Yeah, and at least Palo Alto Networks is out from this space, malware, so that you are having malicious software running on your hosts, on your cloud environment, wherever. Yeah? And we have a very good report about this. You see the link to this in the bottom line. I guess you're getting this slides today, so you can investigate this on your own as well. All right, so perils of automation during deployment is the next banner. Yeah, misconfiguration. That's something out of the study with 62% where we are seeing, okay, there's a strong trend. This is the fear of the most of our customers, of our interviewed people, that you are having something in there where you're saying, okay, yeah, that can happen. Nobody knows everything, and that's the top of everything here. So software development is very fast since a while, and there are different reasons for this, time to market stuff, or budgetary pressure, or you have new technologies you want to use, or that accessing your customer audience. Yeah, that's becoming a race, and in this race, misconfigurations, overseen items can become a nightmare for you. Yeah? If you are looking for software development, we as Palo Alto Networks, with our Prisma brand, we are trying to get into the development chain very early. Yeah? That you are seeing here is people are not aware what's going on in the environments, what can go wrong, what libraries they might use which have weaknesses. We see a lot of vulnerabilities on the infrastructure as a service VMs. We see this in the containers a lot, and at least, yeah, from the container security itself, that's a different story. How to investigate this stuff, who are you trusting, all this kind of stuff. Yeah? Our architecture and how we address this part. As mentioned, everything I'm talking today about, many of you know maybe Palo Alto Networks as the next generation firewall vendor. We're having a special brand called Prisma Cloud by Palo Alto Networks, which is focusing mainly on cloud security. And in this architecture, we are focusing on automation. We're having the visibility, so you can only avoid things if you see what you have there and you're seeing your counterpart who's trying to do strange things with you. And one of our philosophic keystones is prevention. That's something we had already in our next generation firewall stuff, and it's also with us in the cloud area at Palo Alto Networks on top. Vulnerability management is a part. We have the compliance part because it's also asked by audience like the InfoSec team or the compliance officer, or with GDPR, the data protection officers are also very interested into this stuff. We are looking for runtime defense, means we are investigating what's on the host, is it allowed that it's up and running, things like that. Access control, and I mentioned this already in my previous slide, that we are getting very, very early in the development phase into the CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment pipeline, that we are investigating services and software before it's up and running, and you have to remediate it when it's running. So the whole architecture looks like this. A busy slide. So what I was talking in my last sentence was CI/CD. So we are integrating with the architecture directly here. We are going into the registries and into the repos where you have your software, where you're running your processes from. And as you can see, we have a lot of things to offer. We have a cloud CMDB, means we bring visibility with our solution into your environment. You can see your workloads, you can see your function as a service deployments, everything around this. We have this module for compliancy. So we are dealing with the most popular one, like the SOC 2, the ISO 27K, with PCI DSS, you name it. And that's a special module you are having in our solution directly integrated. Threat prevention is a big point for us. As you see, it's also one of the points we are having here. Data leak prevention in regards of that you are storing data in the cloud, where you want to see what is in there, who put stuff in this, where this is exposed to, things like this. The reporting is one big item, and as you can see from the protection point of view, we are in the container and orchestration area doing serverless stuff, the virtual machines, the bare metals, and you see it's a multi-product play. So from this perspective, we are not ending up with only our stuff. We are also very open in integrating other third-party tools. You see here a few of them. I have a later slide which is showing also integrations, how you can automate stuff, because you have seen that's one big item for us, that we want to automate stuff due to that we know everybody's busy, less resources to do these things. Yeah, let's drill this a little bit more down into the secure DevOps environment. Already mentioned multiple times now. In this scenario, we have the developer. The developer is checking in his code into the repository, and then our game begins. So our Prisma public cloud stuff, that's how the product is named, is integrating into this environment. We are recognizing some activities is going on, and from there, we are checking what's in there. So we can go for cloud-native security checks. We can go for detections or remediations of insecure components of this environment. We can detect vulnerabilities of the operating system which is used, or also libraries you're using inside of the container environment. Everything is in a configuration check, and it can stop the pipeline, that it's not going over into a build or run environment. There are several ways how we can deal with this stuff to integrate as you as a customer like to see this. Instead of a live demo, I took the non-risk-based idea to show you a video. That's the dashboard of our solution. You can see we have a lot of different options here. We can go for the cloud perspective, we can go for the hosts, we can go for the containers and the serverless environment. If you're looking onto this, you see the namespace of a container, you see our own components, you're able to filter around everything in our visualization to see what you are having there. We are currently in the mode of the runtime. That's because it's so green. I'm switching over in this video now to show you where you have things to work on. Yeah? It's a demo, so you see a lot of red stuff is going on there. In this environment, I'm now looking or drilling down into the container level to figure out what's going on there. Here we have a MongoDB is running. I see a lot of information around the image, the service IP address, the digit of this container image. I see what vulnerabilities it has. Now we are stepping over into the area where you see details around, again, this one is checked by our registry process, means Twistlog is looking one time into it, then it's certified by our solution. If nobody is changing things, next deployment will run smoothly without a pre-check. In this example, you see I clicked on a vulnerability which is present in the system. We are showing when it's fixed, in what kind of patch level it's fixed. We have a description when it appears, when it was detected or published. And you can see we are having multiple severities and can have a look into this, how critical these failures are. In the compliance area, you're seeing a check against sys. Sys is a standard we are fulfilling. In this example, the test was checking is there a root user in a container which is used, and that's why it's colorful failed. Yeah? And that's the compliance part. Now, in the next one, we are seeing the layers. So our solution can investigate deeper into the layers which are in a container. You see, again, the severities of some critical components in there. You can have a look into the stuff which is in the layers of this container image. We can drill down into the process level. So it's just this one container I clicked onto. And you see the whole list of processes which are running on this. You can have a look into the packages which are installed in this container to double check this, and associated to this you are getting further information in regards of any vulnerabilities or issues there. So leaving this, you have multiple step-in points, jumping back into compliance. So the next one is to show you a little bit how this stuff is working. The radar was the dashboard. Now we are in the container firewall, in the network firewall. There's currently no rule. In this step, I can show you what connections your environment is using in this namespace. Yeah? So you get all the ports, all the processes which are reporting out. You can export this stuff and directly create firewall rules for your container deployment. That's something where we are special in. We can do the same thing for cloud-native applications with our firewall module for this one. And as you see, there are different areas what we are offering in there. Yeah? Here are some demo stuff. We can apply this to special functions. We can have a special action, so you just want to get alerted, not to block this stuff. That's something we can do. We see the port or specifying the port. We can bring this policy to a specific container only by filtering for this. Yeah? We can have file upload stuff to investigate this. We can have intelligence integrations to detect malware and this kind of stuff. So you have the ability to filter for ranges, like you're doing on a traditional firewall, where the stuff is coming from, where it goes to, and you can also see where is it applied to. In this example, it's one of the FUS solutions in the environment. The next one is the runtime. So we can also focus on the environment, what's running in your environment. Do you have, might be something up and running which is not wished on this host. You can have a look into the threat information. Detecting crypto miners is always a good one, yeah, because we have customers who want to see this stuff, and we have other customers who are in the business of crypto mining stuff. So we need these components on this host, which is then necessary. You have, from the connectivity point of view, also capabilities to filter things. So, and file system integrity, another point. If you're saying I have a process who is writing stuff to something, this is allowed, we can formulate things like that from a process perspective, these things are coming up and running. Yeah? That's the idea behind this module and what we are doing there. So you see it's for container, for the hosts, for the serverless deployments and other deployments we are supporting. It's a solution which fits on the cloud environment, but if you're in the lift and shift situation, you can also use it with on-premise stuff as well. I switched over to the compliance model here, meanwhile, in this demo. As you can see, we can run different tests of what you are having in this container and how it's treated. Yeah, for example, this twist lock demo is having an ignore list for vulnerabilities because we want to show you something, how this is happening, why it's red. And here we formulated that the CVEs detected on our containers are ignored, not alerted, not blocked, or something like that, that you're getting this out of from there. So as you see, all these things we are configuring in the defend mode is applicable to host, the containers, and the serverless. Yeah? There are some frictions around this to change this stuff. As you see here, again, you can configure one by one how the action is treated at the end. And again, that's a big point for us that we are saying, okay, we want to apply these compliance or this security rule to a specific container or to an image or to a registry. We can filter on this. That's how we are doing this through the whole product. Yeah? Same for the host. Applied to what? Access. So we are integrating with secret stores. Yeah? So you can use the secret stores stuff as well in our solution that we are consuming from there. Here we see stuff around the access itself, so that we are blocking devices, for example, as you see in this demo. Now we are with the secrets. Was a little bit too fast on this. As you see, here are our integrations for that. So the solution is also capable through the file detection mode to identify sensitive data like passwords or clear text stuff which should be encrypted or not on a container or on a host, that we filter this out from there. Monitoring, that's where the meat is going onto the bone, where we are seeing the events. What happens in your environment? What do we need to investigate? And you see there's a bunch of filtering options on top. You see there are a graph showing what kind of events happened over the last decade, and then below this you're seeing stuff which happened, which you can now investigate and getting a more idea of what happened in your environment. So the messages, the processes, the paths, all this kind of stuff is visible in this area. Yeah, so can drill down this again, can have a look for the timeline, when did it happen, all the forensic stuff which is required for the security part. And you can scroll down and identify what happened particularly on your container environment. You can filter for different levels of events. There are also levels where you're saying, okay, that's the stuff we want to see there. Now we are in the runtime. The runtime are the processes which are out on the containers. And where you're seeing, here's a category for the containers that we have weak settings in there. So you can investigate what's wrong there. You can use the event audit view on this. And you can also scroll down again. Was there a change? Was something added to this? Or was something installed? So that you can figure out this. You have always the possibility to filter or to make a selection of what you want to see there. That's the part behind that. So you have all the details all over. There are the processes and also the checksum of these processes. In this incident, we have a changed binary which brought this to our attention. For the vulnerabilities, we have again an overall trend where you can see, okay, did something change in the world? Is there currently a situation that a vulnerability has shown up? I'm affected by this, and you see on top of these graphs, you see the trend, and below this, you are seeing the vulnerabilities which are applied to this demo environment or to your customer environment when you're running our solution. Yeah? And what you're seeing, they are having a security score where you can focus on. Is it something which is low, or is it really critical that you focus on this to solve this issue? again, it's applicable against the images you're running, the hosts, the containers, and also going out to the functions. You see, we have also integrations into Jenkins here, for example. There's a powerful CLI tool, Twist CLI it's called, and with Twist CLI you have all the capabilities to integrate our solution into your processes. So when you want to make a pre-flight check, you can use our Twist CLI tool to check your configuration and the state of what you are doing there. Yeah? So that's how things are running when we are in the CI/CD pipeline. And we are working mostly agentless. Yeah? That's the only part where we are using a binary to investigate this stuff. From the compliance, you have again this dashboard. You can also see again the checks which failed or which passed. You have an overall view of what mode you are on, what status you are having in this environment, and you can drill this down a little bit more where you are looking into the software you installed or the checks. Is there a user you won't see there, or is there a specific user you want to have on this container? Things like this. So it's a check system at the end, which you can use. You have always the context where this issue is and where it's coming from. So the integrations. So on the left side, fading out, you are seeing our whole architecture. And on the side card, you can see we have a lot of integrations. To make your life easier, we are integrating with different tool sets or tool categories. For example, you have an existing SOC process, Security Operations Center process. We can integrate with SIEM solutions you are having in place, ticket systems. SOAR is the acronym for Security Orchestration, Automation, and Remediation. I made this accident-free, I'm happy. And next one is collaboration. So you can see on the categories on the right side where we are integrating with tools. It's not a complete one. We are extending the whole time. So Microsoft Teams is in the collaboration part as well. We have multiple additions now to the ticketing systems, and in the DevOps space, we are adding more and more tools as well. From the SOAR perspective, Demisto is a tool out of our company. It's another pillar of our solution portfolio where you can directly integrate and automate stuff. So you have a finding in our solution and you want to do a remediation, you do it out of the tool itself, or you're using Demisto to do a workflow, yeah? to change things, to disable things, all this kind of stuff. Demisto has a lot of integrations and fits very, very good with the product I'm showing you here. Yeah, the big credo of this is integration and automation is the key for you to bring you to the next level at this stage. That's an important point. How to start? Yeah, as you see, we came from the threats, what can happen. Now we had a demo of how this looks like, how this integrates at the end. Now it's interesting for you how you can use this stuff and how you can leverage our tools. You saw we have a lot of things we can offer for bringing you into a secure position when using cloud environments. And if we are starting, we have two things which are pretty cool and publicly available with no costs at the moment. Means we are in a test of a ISC scanner. This ISC scanner is used for scanning your configurations, things you want to deploy to the cloud. You can check this against our API. It's very well documented under this link. So you can start right away with it, integrate it into your CI/CD process to double check the stuff you're running in your environment, and where you're saying, okay, I want to improve my security at this point. So it's going to check your CloudFormation templates. It's looking for your Terraform stuff, for Kubernetes YAML files, all this kind of stuff, and you can have a good output from it. So it stops your building process, or it gives you an idea, oh, I need to adjust things in this area. Another one is the vScan API. The vScan API is formally to investigate Docker images and VM images. It gives you also the impression of what's installed on this. Do you have vulnerabilities? Should you go into production with an image? So that's stuff we are offering for free, which is interesting for you to start. If we're talking about all the shift left stuff, so everything I was talking about start with CI/CD. It's called by us shift left because you're starting with the interaction with the developers to secure things. You get a lot of stuff from our web page dedicated for this area, and yeah, under this link you are getting additional resources. We are very publishing a lot of white papers, solution architecture papers, how to integrate with specific functions in the cloud. Especially with AWS, we have a very long story. With our virtualized firewall, we started 5-8 years ago. Yeah? So as you can see, also this part is covered by that. If we are talking a little bit more about what I have shown you here, we have a marketplace. Over this marketplace, on the one hand side, you can purchase our solution or over the partners. That's not why I'm showing this here. There's a trial available on the marketplace. So we are offering a trial where you can just play around with this, where you are saying, okay, I want to see this solution. I want to have an idea what's in my cloud environment. I want to see where I need maybe to change things, and that's you can just start, and after half an hour it's configured, and over the hours you are getting an impression what our solution found. Yeah, so it's a very easy onboarding process, doing a lot of POCs with customers all over Europe, and the go-to is very cool. So I'm through with my slide deck here. Thank you for your attention.